Hey team, I want to go through some HYROX movements. So they call them disciplines, and I've started doing that too, but you kind of get what I mean. So you've got the 8K run, and then you've got your bits in between. And I just want to go through some technique exercises and just to explain the movements. So this is kind of like, I'm appealing to the beginners of being like, what the hell does this do? Find benefit from it, and also to start thinking about what to move on from and also how to improve the exercise itself. So with a skier, you've done your so 3, 2, 1 go in HYROX. You've gone out and you're doing your kilometer run. Once you've done your kilometer run, you're then going to make your way to a skier. Okay, you get to the skier and you have 1,000 meters to do. So in a pair, obviously you share it. So what I recommend to my clients is to do 250, 250 twice. And there's some tactics around that, but let's get on with the skier. So from here, what we're looking for is we want to do the biggest range of motion, okay? So we want to start nice and high, like a big stretch, feeling it in our lats. And then we want to get our lats involved first, and then down. We want to come down into like a little bit of a squat position before we extend back up, like so, okay? So we're extending, and then big pull down, extending, big pull down, okay? We want to feel like we're pulling the cables this way. We're not going straight down like a tricep exercise. We are getting into our lats and pulling towards us, okay? So knowing the muscles that we're working, you can already know what we need to improve on when it comes to going into the gym and improving those muscles for strength, mobility, as well as you want to work on injury prevention. We don't want any injuries when it comes to the first exercise, okay? So skier, when you come onto here, you want to make sure, nice big reach, get into the lats. And what we're doing is we're trying to unravel, so this wire is around a fan. We want to unravel the fan as quickly as we can to start, and then slowly glide out when it comes to making it spin, continue it to spin, okay? So here, we're going to unravel the wheel, and we're going to let it glide. So knowing that, you can understand that like going really fast has no meaning, because what's happening is you're just interrupting the spin every time you start again. So with like the rower, you want to put your oars in the water, row, glide on the water, put the oars back in. And that's like the pace you want to do with both the ski erg and the rower, okay? You can't tell I'm pointing at the rower, but you can't see. So nice extension, glide in the water, glide in the water, glide in the water. So the goal is, if you can try and keep your chest up tall, that's going to help you breathe. And also, the more you hinge over, the more you make it into a hip hinge movement. So that's going to tax a couple of other muscles. So your hamstrings, glutes, lower back. So if you're not a big fan of that, or maybe you haven't got RDLs in your plan and you don't feel conditioned with that, I would try and make sure you stay as upright as possible, okay? So nice extension, come down, and you're finishing in this position here, fully extended. So how much more have I got left? So that's fully, I can't go any further than that. That's not that far. So I've done literally the furthest I can go to start and near enough the end of the rope. So I'm doing the most I can do when it comes to the stroke. My chest is up tall. I'm focusing on something in front of me to remind me, like so. And the goal is I'm getting as much weight as I can on top of the handles, okay? So that is the ski erg. We're going to go on to the rower. Okay, so when it comes to the rower, kind of the same information on the ski erg. So you want to make sure that you have a good foot position here. Your feet need to go in and the strap needs to go over, kind of like the top lace, all right? Not the one nearest to your ankle, like the lace that's furthest away. That's usually a good position where you want to have that strength to pull yourself back in for the next row, okay? So both feet in. Again, damper level, that's another lesson. But you can do a test on the row itself to figure out what damper level you need to be on. Or you can just figure out like how comfortable you feel. If you do 250 meters on one damper, have a little rest and do another 250 meters on a different damper. See what works best for you. The higher the damper, the harder it's going to feel, but also the powerful athletes can use that to their advantage and put some more power through the fan. The people that will struggle strength-wise will be better off a little bit lower and maybe getting the reps in, but also making sure that the technique is good, okay? So from here, hands on the handle. I want to think about a leg drive first. So leg drive and then pull towards us. First things first is arms out, and then we follow our arms in with our legs. So we want to create some tension and maintain tension. One thing I see a lot of people do, and they'll lose tension with, is the heels will come off a lot. Obviously, we want to think about a leg drive movement. We're getting into a position where we can leg drive. When you squat, your heels aren't off the floor. So I see a lot of people when they come forwards, they'll lose a lot of tension because they want to reach like forwards. And then when it comes to coming back, they upper body it a lot more because their feet aren't, their heels aren't planted. Okay. So what I want you to do just for the next couple of rows is try and keep your heels down and think about that. So from here, I'm going to reach forward as far as I can, as far as my lower back can take as well. So if you're not conditioned in your lower back, then you wouldn't want to go too far forward and add too much pressure. Okay. So from here, we're reaching forwards. I quite like to aim for where the handle sits. We're leg driving, and then a nice snappy pull. Arm out, forwards, and in. So just like the conversation I was having with the skier, we want to put the oars in the water, row, glide on the water. Glide on the water, okay? Obviously, if you've got the fitness to hold on to this, possibly you're doing a pairs 250, then yeah, you can go a little bit faster. But I'm doing a solo, so I'm doing 1,000 meters on my own. So my pace is going to be chill to try and maintain my heart rate, so it's not jacked for my next run. So they're the main things when it comes to a rower. Think about leg drive and then pull. And then as you recover with the rower, you're not losing tension. So you're kind of like pulling that bow. You're pulling that bow of tension, and then you're able to use it on your next row. All right. So first things you need to do, make sure your feet are in the right position. Have a play about with the damper, see which one suits you best, and then incorporate that technique. Think about reeling that cable in around the wheel, around the fan, and then you're unraveling that fan as hard as you can with your legs, not your arms. Then once you're near full extension, you're continuing that range of motion with your arms and pulling it to anywhere here, yeah? So kind of like upper chest to sternum, anywhere here. We don't want to go too low. You'll make it very army. Try and use the momentum of the line that it's doing and pull it towards your chest area. So that is the rower, okay? Okay, so next one and last one of this video, we're just going to go through the wobble, okay? I'm going to demonstrate with the 4, obviously, because I just want to demonstrate. You have 6 kilos will be for the guys and 4 kilos for the ladies. If you were in a mixed sex pairs, the lady needs to get used to the 6 kilo anyway. So it's always best just to know what weight you're aiming for and go from there. So the first thing we want to do when it comes to a wobble is practice our squat position. So we are holding the ball in front of us, and we want to be in a position where we can throw it, okay? So you're kind of pushing through your palms. So we want to be in this position here. So to start off with, you need to practice having this ball close to your head and performing a front squat. So we're getting as low as we can and standing without this happening. Because if we stand from here, it's going to be really hard to throw straight, okay? So something that you can do in your extra time working out, get a heavier ball, maybe the 9, and work on your squats, okay? Chuck it in a circuit from here, fingers pointing up. We're going to squat and stand, making sure that we're locking out. This is going to be an important part, locking out here to produce that power to throw, okay? Obviously, throwing it with just your arms would be great, but we need the power when it comes from the legs to travel up the chain and throw that ball. The more that your whole body helps, the less effort it's going to take, the more chilled you're going to be right for the workout, okay? So what we're looking for, once we've produced a really good squat position, we're going to squat nice and low, and we're going to control the descent And then we're going to extend, hips forward, and finish the throw, okay? Obviously, we'll get to the point where you're producing so much power here that it's leaving your hands to start off with, or maybe at your current state, you might have to feel like you are throwing it off your shoulders and off your chest. So what I want you to do is make sure you hit that depth, leg drive, glutes, and throw. Once you can perform your singles, so we're squatting nice and low, big throw and catching, resetting, and performing your next rep, then we want to start looking at chaining some together. So as the ball comes down, you want to catch and lower at the same time. So big squat, throw, catch, and lower. So what's going to happen is when you catch it, it probably won't finish in the right position for you. So it might finish out in front of you. You'll have to make sure you've got the strength to bring it back close to you into your next throwing position, okay? So we're looking at keeping it close. So when you stand, you're generating all that power and it's traveling through your body and through your arms. The further away that ball is, the less kind of connection you've got. And this power that you're creating won't go through the wall ball. So focus on that wall ball staying just in front of your face. Getting nice, good depth, and then driving through your legs, locking out of the squeezing of the bum, and then throwing it if you need to. Some shorties, and I am a shorty, you may have to do a little hop as well. So you might have to jump while throwing. Just make sure once you've caught the ball, your feet are reset, you lower yourself down, you build that tension, and then you explosively throw it, okay? If you're obviously looking for higher rep ranges, then you're looking at making sure that it's smooth and not fast. If you're looking at just doing 10s to 15s, then you can get away with kind of like a faster pace, and obviously a couple of mistakes won't really worry you too much, because it's kind of like, remember, when you're in a pair as well, you'll be giving your other person rest, okay? So don't think, oh my God, like I need to do this quick. Like your partner might actually like the rest time, and that'll come with the burpees and the lunges too. Always make sure you talk to your partner if you're doing a partner workout and understand what style and what rep range would be best for you when it comes to doing those exercises, okay? So that is part one of my HYROX help. Let's see if you can like this one. Subscribe if you're not, and I'll hopefully catch you in the next one.